Hi, this is Chris, or CHanson2794 on BoardGameGeek, and I'm logged into the GDCR as my demo user, and I am going to cover how to sign up as a volunteer for a print and play design contest using the GDCR. So in this particular example, we're going to be volunteering to be a volunteer playtester in the 2019 9 card contest. But this will be the same for any process that uses the GDCR. So we're going to go to our contest tab. There's also a link on the contest page, but from the contest tab we can see all the previous contests that were run on the GDCR, as well as the current contest. Right now the 9 card contest is the only one. So we're going to click onto the contest page on the GDCR. And we can scroll down through the list of games that are entered in the contest. And here we have a link for volunteer playtest registration. So this account is not currently signed up as a volunteer playtester. So I'm going to click this link, register to be a volunteer playtester. And it takes us to a sign up page for the contest. And you can double check and make sure you're on the right contest here up at the top of the screen. And this page just asks a couple questions about what types of games you will be able to play or to be assigned. I try to honor these as much as possible when I'm making assignments of games. For example, I could say I think I would be able to take about 4 games. You know, these 9 card games are usually pretty quick to play. The minimum amount is 2. On average, how many games are you or how many pages are you willing to craft per game? In the 9 card contest, this is kind of a moot question because all of the games have 9 cards, but in other contests some of the games can be quite large. So since it's 9 cards, we'll select something simple. Let's say I can play with my family, so I can play up to 4 players. And this is up to, you know, I might assign solitaire games or 3-player games. I will not assign games for players more than what you've selected. Game length, if a game is really long to play, you know, maybe I don't have a lot of time, so I can play games that take about 15 minutes or maybe 15 to 30 minutes. If I like the longer games, I can do an hour and a half. That might be good for a couple games in the 9 card contest if they're legacy and played out over several sessions, but in general most of the 9 card contest games are going to be a little shorter. But again, for other contests this comes much more into play. How many minutes are you willing to spend crafting each game? Again, 9 card contest, this doesn't really matter, but a larger game, you know, you can spend up to an hour crafting some of the games in these contests. Are there any categories that you aren't interested in? This only lists categories that are thematic or mechanical in nature. So if I don't like war games or I'm not interested in legacy games, I can select either of those. If there's you know, there's not a zombie category in this contest, but I know some players really don't like zombie games, so if there was a zombie category you could select I don't want to play any zombie games. So I will say I don't want to play any war games. I don't want to be assigned any war games. And again, I try to honor that as best as I can. And I have a nice color printer, so I don't need low ink option. There's no digital platforms being used with this particular contest, but if people are releasing games on Vassal or Tabletop Simulator, they will be listed here, and you can select, like, I have Tabletop Simulator, I'd like to play games that are available on that. Again, I try to honor this. If there's any additional requests, we'll say I don't like zombie games. You can put those in, and when I'm making assignments I try to take all that into consideration. I do want to emphasize on the volunteer registration, this is really designed to help players or to help designers and games that haven't received a lot of feedback. Maybe some of the games are kind of off the beaten track in terms of theme, or so they haven't generated a lot of interest. I want these contests to be a fun place where everyone can get at least a little bit of feedback for their game design. Which is why we do this volunteer playtesting. So do try, you know, if there's something that you really don't like, zombie games, I understand that, but It's also quite fun to play something that you wouldn't normally play. I've had experiences as a volunteer playtester in these contests, getting an assignment from myself in this case, but I assigned myself some games that I wouldn't normally play, and had a really fun time trying some new things and discovering some new themes and mechanics that I hadn't really encountered before. And I know other volunteer playtesters have had the same kind of thing. So I do try to honor these requests, but just a plug here that if you are willing to try something new, that would be great. And it looks like I clicked the sign up button down below. If we go to the contest page, this is just the same contest page. We're looking at the 2019 9-card contest. You can scroll down past the long list of games, and now under volunteer playtest registration I can see all of my selections, everything that I put in. If I want to edit anything, I've got a link to come back into the form. All my previous responses are saved, and I've decided that, you know what, I think I can actually do 5 games. I'm not going to change anything else. I submit it, I go back to the contest page, and I scroll down to that info, and I can see number of games you'd like to be assigned is 5. So that's all there is to it, to signing up for volunteer registration. Once the sign up period is done, I will go through the database and find matches of games that don't have a lot of plays or don't have a lot of feedback yet, and I will make assignments to everyone who volunteers. So thank you very much for watching, and a special thank you if you have volunteered to be a playtester for some of these designs in the contests.